All right, guys, so we just got some more Green Bay Packers injury updates, our second set of injury updates here in Week 18, ahead of this Bears game where if the Packers win, they get into the playoffs. So now more than ever, it is important for the Green Bay Packers to start to get healthy if they do indeed beat the Bears and sneak into the playoffs. So in today's video, we're going to quickly go over the injury updates for today on Thursday. Now there will be the even more important injury report tomorrow, which has all the designations and game statuses ahead of Sunday. But today there are some pretty important ones to note, so let's dive into it. All right, so if we bring up the update here, it states that the same 5 players that didn't practice yesterday, again, are not practicing today, and that includes outside linebacker Preston Smith, guard Elton Jenkins, running back A.J. Dillon, safety Rudy Ford, and inside linebacker Isaiah McDuffie. Now, this is not good news for both Preston Smith and Elton Jenkins. You know, Preston Smith added to the injury report this week with that ankle injury, not practicing for 2 days straight. Now, him and Elton Jenkins both have ankle injuries, and yesterday's injury report, you know, I was mistaken. I thought it was just another rest day for Elton Jenkins, although there was the ankle added to that report. I still thought, okay, well, the last 3 weeks or so, the Packers have been giving Elton Jenkins a rest day pretty much the first day of practice every week. So I thought yesterday's did not participate wasn't anything to worry about, but at this point it is. Elton Jenkins did not participate yet again today, and it seems to be that the ankle is more serious than we might have first thought. So that's definitely something to monitor for both Preston Smith and Elton Jenkins going into this game. Now, both of these guys are veterans. Both of these guys technically don't have to practice to play in the game. I would love to see limited for both of them tomorrow, but if they both don't practice all week, it's not looking good for either of these guys playing. If Preston Smith is indeed out, look for heightened snaps for Lucas Van Ness, which we can all agree we want to see anyways, but Preston Smith's been having a very solid season, coming off an excellent game last week against the Vikings, and of course, Elton Jenkins is one of our better interior guys, you know, especially in the pass blocking game, and we know how much the Packers have already struggled at guard, so I'm kind of wondering how they would go about this if Elton doesn't play. My best guess is it would still be Josh Myers in the center, it would be John Runyon on the right guard, and Sean Ryan left guard, or they swap Ryan and Runyon, whatever one's more comfortable playing left guard. My best guess is it would be Runyon, as he kind of has moved around a little bit, where the only time they've brought Sean Ryan in is at right guard, so they'll likely just keep him there. I think Elton Jenkins will play in this game. I know it's hard to say right now considering he has missed 2 days of practice, but he is a veteran. Like I said, he doesn't need to practice during the week, so if he feels okay on that ankle, I think he will suit up. It's, you know, the most important game of the season at this point. Win and into the playoffs, lose, and you're pretty much out of the playoffs. You know, the Packers aren't eliminated if they lose, but at that point, they pretty much are. Then to round out the players not practicing, A.J. Dillon, who banged his thumb in the game against the Vikings. That broken thumb he has, didn't practice again today. We'll see his status going into tomorrow with the game designation. My best guess is he'll be questionable, and that'll be more of a game time decision. But the Packers may activate Emmanuel Wilson, and they also have Patrick Taylor, and Aaron Jones is playing really well right now. So it wouldn't be a massive hit if A.J. Dillon wasn't able to go in this game. Rudy Ford is still on the injury report with the hamstring issue, pretty much been delegated to a bench player at this point, so this again isn't a massive hit, which is still crazy to me because I thought Rudy Ford was having an awesome season before the string of injuries he had, and then the Packers really just didn't start him even when he returned from the injuries. He was one of the best coverage safeties via PFF in the NFL, and now they're just really on that John Owens train, and I get it, you know, he has filled in nicely, but I thought Rudy Ford would come back from those string of injuries and start at safety, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and the best ability is availability. Then finally is Isaiah McDuffie, who left the Vikings game with a concussion. He is still in concussion protocol, so not looking like a high probability that Isaiah McDuffie is going to be, you know, available for this game, but it looks like Devondre Campbell is returning, which we'll get into here in a second, so at least we're kind of getting a swap there. Then for the important players to note that are practicing yet again today, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Tay Wicks, Devondre Campbell, Josh Myers, and Luke Musgrave. So 3 wide receivers to start that list off. It looks like the Packers are going to have full firepower at that wide receiver position. Christian Watson missing the last 4 games. You know, before he got injured, the 2 games before that against Detroit and Kansas City were his best 2 games of the season, where he totaled 165 yards and 3 touchdowns, and a lot would argue those were 2 of the best Green Bay Packers games all season. And a lot of that could be tied to Christian Watson, the connection Jordan Love and him were building. So getting him back here will be massive against this Bears defense that this pass defense has been playing really hot lately. So having all these wide receivers back is going to be super important. Jaden Reed, who left with the chest injury before halftime, yesterday said negative x-rays. He feels fine, and he's pretty much going to play. So Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, both look like they're going to play, as does Dontavian Wicks, who was out last game with the chest injury. Tay Wicks at 520 yards, 2 touchdowns so far this season, and 3 weeks ago was his best game at 97 yards versus Tampa. So all these wide receivers, finally starting to get healthy, it seems like, and we may have all of them, which is a rarity this year. I feel like game in and game out, it's like 1 or 2 of them are always hurt. So it'll be massive to get all these guys back against the Bears here, and it'll obviously give them the best chance at winning. Then Devondre Campbell, as I mentioned before, is practicing for a second straight day. So it looks like he will return, and that's great with Isaiah McDuffie likely out of this game, and the Packers are going to need their star linebackers against someone like Justin Fields, who loves to extend plays, who loves to run. Then we see Josh Myers, who left, I think, a few snaps against the Vikings. He practiced yet again, so it looks like he'll be ready to go in this game, which, is going to be huge, although he hasn't had a good stretch of 4 games. He's actually been very poor, but if Elton Jenkins can't go, it would be even worse to have both Elton Jenkins and Josh Myers miss, because then you kind of go, okay, how does that interior look? Because then that basically means Royce Newman's going to play. So, Josh Myers hasn't been great, but if him and Elton are out, then we're probably going to start seeing some Royce Newman, which we obviously don't want to see. And finally, Luke Musgrave practicing yet again. I say he gets activated either tomorrow or Saturday, and they sprinkle him into the offense a little bit on Sunday. I still think Tucker Kraft will get the start, but I think we will see some Luke Musgrave, which is going to be great for like passing down situations or a mismatch against a certain linebacker on the Chicago Bears or something of that sort. So I'm really hyped to see him back into this tight end room. So that does it for the Thursday injury updates. All the same, but also very important updates on Elton Jenkins and Preston Smith again not practicing, which are 2 huge veteran starters on this team. Of course, like I said, the more important injury report per se will be out tomorrow with all the game designations, so be on the lookout for that here on this channel. But that about does it for this video. I appreciate you guys coming by. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Pack Go.